Right after dealing with the whole debacle from Coleman and his quest, The Rat, we can really set foot on the Viziman docks. Exploring a little bit, you can encounter a familiar face from Chapter 2, the wealthy merchant, Declan Luvarden. If you remember from the last episode, Zoltan said that Luvarden requested some assistance in the docks, and if you ask him about this topic, he will say that some drowners are affecting his business and he needs someone to deal with him.
I may. The dog by the swamp is crucial to my business. The creatures have caused me losses.
What are the beasts like?
Drowners. They emerge at night, destroying goods and murdering carriers. I'll pay 400 orens to be rid of them.
A pleasure doing business.
Indeed.
You can also ask him about the Salamander badges. He wants two Salamander to go down, because it affects all the businesses.
Excellent. I normally pay 20 apiece, but I'll make an exception. I'll give you 10 times that.
Great, but I still want to know why you're paying bounty hunters to track down bandits.
They're not good for business.
Your business?
All businesses. Listen, there are forces beyond your imagination at work here. Be thankful you don't know the world for what it is.
Luvarden, I've heard so many high and mighty speeches that yours doesn't impress me. I don't give a shit about these forces. My only concern is reaching the Salamander leaders and killing Azar Javed.
That I'd like to see. Should you succeed, find me, and I'll reward you handsomely. And if you destroy Salamander as a whole, I will repay you for your efforts.
That won't be easy. I may come see you again, and I'll be counting on your assistance.
I'll help if I can.
See you later.
He puts a bounty on Salamander bandits, rewarding Geralt if he takes down the Salamander. This could be a very fruitful arrangement between these two. There is not much to do despite talking with Luvarden, so we can talk with the ferryman, so we can go to the swamp. There are a lot of activities to do here, but some of them need some time to be completed. We are still looking for the other book that Kalkstein requested Geralt to get. Luckily, we can deal with this right away. There is a man named Gramps at the landing of the swamp. When asked about the magical tower, he will say that he can help you out.
Why does it interest you?
I need to get inside.
An ambitious goal. And ambition is key in life. I'm too tired to explain everything, but I like you, son. I had a book about it somewhere. Maybe I'll show it to you sometime.
Thanks, Gramps.
I truly wonder if you'll succeed.
What was that?
A storm approaches, son. Beware of lightning.
You're not making much sense.
Listen to Gramps, son. My joints are stiff. A storm is coming.
If you ask about work, he will say that he needs to be escorted to a chapel for praying.
Ah, swords. I suspect I know the type of work you seek. Perhaps you could escort me to the chapel for my prayers. I'm old and no longer good at driving monsters off with my staff.
I was thinking about paying work, but all right, I'll take you there.
Accept this, and the quest Pilgrimage begins. You can do a tour around the whole swamp with Gramps, which can be profitable for a player. You need to fight a lot of monsters though. Either this can take a lot of time, or Gramps can be killed if you are not careful. So I chose to go straight to the chapel. There is your typical drowner or echinops, but you must pay attention to a specific monster. Around the whole swamp there is a chance where you can find an archboar, the Caucasidium. This new monster is the one, when defeated, will require its set to finalize the trophy quest of this chapter, and the fourth overall in the game. It can be very difficult for inexperienced players, and in hard mode this requires a little bit of theory crafting and luck, because it can poison you and he has nasty attacks which can take your health with a lot of ease. You can take his head off when defeated, starting the quest Bloodthirsty Vegetation. After the fight and following the quest marker, you can find the so-called chapel and finish this quest. Now head northeast to find Graham's house. Occasionally there will be some drowned dead, so take note to get at least 10 drowned dead tongues to complete the contract. You know you are near Graham's when you find a corpse with an assassin dagger. After finding the house, enter it, and right next to the entrance you can find a bookcase with Kalkstein's book, Ounce of Fur. Read it and we can talk with Kalkstein. Exploring a tad bit of the house, Geralt will comment on the bones found in the house.
Not human bones? Brains? I'm gonna puke.
This starts the cannibal. Gramps is a cannibal and you can confront him about it. He will defend himself and will say that he will eat everyone but children.
Why do you eat human flesh?
Well, I enjoy it. It has health-giving qualities, and it tastes like chicken. A pound of human flesh provides the equivalent of...
Spare me.
Well, you asked. I do follow certain rules. For instance, I never consume children.
Truly praiseworthy.
Well, no need for sarcasm. Well, occasionally I polish up a druid or a brickmaker, but I especially savour elf meat. It's aromatic, naturally infused with scents of roots and spices.
You can either kill him or spare him. From a morality standpoint, the best course of action is to kill him, so he can stop his deeds. However, if you spare him, he can give you a formula for a decent oil for her blades, Hanged Man's Venom. I decided to spare him just to get the oil. You can continue in the swamp to do everything you can do, but I decided to go back into the city to deliver the book to Kalkstein. While you are at it, before talking to the ferryman, there's a fireplace nearby, so wait for nighttime to get rid of the drowners. There will be 5 to 6 drowners, so it will be an easy task. If you want, you can wait until it's nighttime or go straight ahead. Traveling to the docks, find Levarden so you can finish the quest.
The dock is safe now.
I knew you'd do it. Here's your payment.
Thanks.
He will thank you and let you be on your way. Go directly into town and make a beeline to Kalkstein's house in a non-human district to give the man the new information about the tower. You can tell him what you found in the books, and to open the tower you need 10 Sephiroths.
I have new information on the tower.
Tell me quickly.
Before this tower, the mage erected 2 others, but both collapsed. This one served as his house and lab.
I knew that. Anything more?
The mage lived there until he disappeared, most likely dead. He constructed clay golems that served him but hardly seemed a major achievement.
That would agree with the legends of the Sentry.
There are 10 cornerstones involving the elements and threads of fate from which all this was born.
Sephiroth! So the old scrolls are true!
One book contained hints of the stone's whereabouts.
We must find all 10 Sephiroth. I own one of them, Chokmah, the Stone of Wisdom.
I suppose I'm to find the others?
Yes. Near the tower, you'll find a circle of stone obelisks. When you have all 10 Sephiroth, place them on the obelisks. Ah, so close. What a breakthrough. I'll abolish the theory of those stuffy professors in Oxenfort. I'll destroy them, smash them.
Kalkstein, don't get worked up until I find the stones, which won't be easy. The information in these books is murky at best.
Sorry, could you show me these books? I'll make notes for you.
Here.
There you are.
We will then give you the Chokmah Sephiroth. If you have been paying attention, you will have known that we are getting the Sephiroth, and by following along, you will have 5 Sephiroth. The first Sephiroth, Malkad, was found when Geralt skinned cockatrices in the sewers, being very hard to miss, and the second, third, and 4th Sephiroth, Grevat, Hot, and Vena, can be found by donating fruit in the altar of Melitele, either in the swamp or in the St. Leviathan Hospital. Of course, there's also the one we got now from Kalkstein. With 5 in hand, we are halfway there. While we are in town, we shall make a couple of detours, the first one being to deliver the Cocosidium Med to Vincent Mice to finish Bloodthirsty Visitation.
What the hell is this? The hideous things that roam this earth. That's 400 Oren's reward.
Then, make a beeline to the Ordos cluster to talk with Siegfried. He posted a notice about the Drowned Dead contracts. You need 10 Drowned Dead tongues to finish the Drowned Dead contract.
I hadn't really thought about it. I'm here about the notice.
I suspected it would interest you. Have you proof of slaying 10 drowners?
Here are their tongues.
Wait, I must record this. 10 drowners. Good. Here's your gold.
With this done, head over to Raymond's house to talk with the PI. He is being attacked by the Salamandra, and we need to help him defeat him. Joining forces, we can deal with him with a lot of ease. Whilst he is going to lay low for a bit, he will now hand over the investigation to us with a list of suspects. By reading a list of suspects, this starts a new quest, Suspect Luvarden. After leaving his house, a boy that comes from Raymond will say that he is keen to have a meeting with Geralt about his findings. This can be a little bit strange because we immediately got out of his house, but if we proceed into investigating some people, such as Tyler and Ramsmeet, and clear their names, the boy will come for us. As we already cleared the names, this event immediately triggers, but we'll give it some time to marinate, as we are going to check more of the swamp has to offer. Proceeding to the southwestern part of the swamp, you will encounter a lumberjack encampment, known as the Lumberjack Glade. There are two people worth mentioning, Yaren Bolt and an unnamed lumberjack.
Any jobs for a witcher?
Despite the danger, the beasts leave us alone.
So nothing?
Perhaps, for someone willing to take a risk.
I'm listening.
But the Begatic plant should be blooming in the swamp.
I understand it's valuable.
The drug it makes is. Collect some blossoms and we could both earn a little.
I wade through mud, face danger, then we split the profit?
He will ask you to collect 5 Begatic blossoms and then deliver them to the ferryman, starting flowers and gold. This should prove an easy task because if you are playing along, you will already have 4 Begatic blossoms from the fallen Scoia'tael from the Strangers in the Night quest over in the chapter 1. If you don't have the flowers, you can collect them in the swamp. The other person of interest, the unnamed lumberjack, is the one who is lamenting the state of his life and requires money for himself and his family. By giving him the money, you will give a lot of goodies, such as a silver ring, sodden meat, a red meteorite, and a formula for wife's tears, a potion that can clear Geralt's drunkenness immediately. Now we need to go to the brickmaker's village, where there's a lot of stuff to do. The head of the village is Vaska, an old woman. Talking to her, you can ask about another witcher, and she will share some information about Berengar.
Has another witcher been here? Berengar?
He has, asking different questions about those alchemies. The alchemist Kolkstein must have sent him. Then we happened upon his gear in a clay pit, covered in blood.
Thanks, Vaska.
White-haired one. There were signs of fighting there, and not with monsters. He was attacked by men. Beware of flaming lizards and dry ones. I need you alive.
Also, you can ask about some work, where she will tell you about the set clay pits being overrun by drowners. So we need to clear the place out. This starts clay pits. Going to the pits, there will be in total 10 drowners. So using group style will be beneficial. You will then encounter a corpse with Alpha the Salamander badge, what is supposed to be Berengar. Returning to Vaska, there's another dialogue option about the magical tower.
Kolkstein, an alchemist, claims you know about the mage from the tower and the guard.
A powerful sorcerer once lived in the swamp, an apprentice his only companion. All changed when a woman entered his life.
A fairy tale beginning.
But the end differs, for a wicked woman she was. He fulfilled all her wishes and she took advantage of his might.
Who was she?
Unimportant.
I'm listening.
Blind love spelled the mage's demise. He called upon forces he could not control and died.
What about the guard?
The mage's lover could tell fortunes, and the mage created a deck of extraordinary tarot cards. He illustrated a future event on each card.
And?
Golems guarded the mage's dwelling. Those spared the ravages of time survive at the cemetery, where they remain motionless.
One of them is the guard?
Yes, the most powerful golem acted as sentry. The tower card depicts how the golem can be revived. In turn, this will open the tower anew. Take this card. I no longer need it.
Selecting the dialogue, you will get more info about it. This starts the sentry and you will be given a tarot card. You can also say that you dealt with the pit situation.
You showed us mercy, yet I deceived you. I can offer no money, but you cannot leave unrewarded. Take this amulet. It's Kezath, the symbol of mercy.
Will do.
Wonderful. Now we prepare for the coming of the lords.
Who are these lords?
We worship them and receive the grace of those from the eternal deep.
I keep thinking of the fish people, Vodyanoi.
How dare you? Those names offend the lords.
She will award you with the Gazette Sephiroth, finishing the quest. Talking with her again, she proclaims that the boy is missing.
Please help. One of our children is missing. The boy has always returned quickly until now.
Perhaps the water beast ate him.
Blasphemy. The druids must have him to transform into a dryad.
All right, I'll look for the boy.
Accepting the job, we get the information that the potential kidnappers are the druids, located in the Druids' Grove. This starts a last lamp. In the yet near the village, there will be a book named The Story of Larendoran and Kragan of Lot, a book that gives you a journal entry for elves. Near the village and the Gramsats, you can encounter the so desired beggartic blossoms, so we only need to deliver them to the ferryman. He will be thankful and request to send the money to Yaren Bolt. Heading over to the Lumberjack Slate, talk with Yaren Bolt, and you can decide to split the profit or to take all with you. If you take all, Yaren will be mad with you, but will come down for another quest. I decided to split the profit, finishing the quest. You can ask for some work and it will say that the glade is being blocked by monsters, making it difficult to work. Accepting the job offer starts a long way from home. If you head a bit north, you will encounter the Druids' Grove. You can talk with a lot of people, but the people of interest right here are Morin, the other Druid, and Yavin. You can ask Yavin about some elf stuff and for work.
I'm looking for Witcher's work.
Then I'll ask you a favor. I need a letter delivered to Vizima, where I'm not welcome. As a Witcher, you should find little difficulty tending to monsters on the way and avoiding trouble with the guards at the city gates.
Who's the letter to?
I'd be obliged if you could deliver it to Vivaldi, a dwarf living in town, and then return his reply to me.
I'll do it. I'm going to Vizima anyway.
Thank you.
He requests for Geralt to deliver a letter to Golan Vivaldi. This starts worth its weight in gold. In the grove, there's a circle of elements, and Geralt can learn Yarden. Talking with the druids nearby, you can ask about the missing kid, and they will direct you to Morin. Speaking with the Dryad, she says that she didn't kidnap the boy because only girls can be turned into Dryads, and requires Geralt to get a wolf pelt to prove Geralt's honor as a hunter. Luckily enough, there's a pack of 3 wolves nearby so you can deal with them. Take more than 1 wolf pelt due to Geralt needing 10 wolf pelts to complete the contract. After it's done, give the pelt to Morin and select the option for pleasure. This will give you the 4th romance card of the chapter and the 8th in the game. Lastly, in the grove, you can talk with the Elder Druid to buy some books, such as the Druid's Arborium and Formula for Maribor Forest. A little bit to the east, you will encounter a small island dubbed Wyvern Island, where you can encounter, well, wyverns. If you are lucky, you can encounter said wyverns fighting other monsters, so you can chip them down with a lot more ease. Use your signs and potions because this can be a very difficult fight, even for experienced players, but the rewards are well worth it. The wyverns will always respawn one after another, so tread carefully to not get noticed when looting the messenger's corpse. He has a unique steel sword Arval that can deal 30% more damage, as well as having a 20% chance of inducing pain, disarming, or dealing a precise hit to the opponent. Surely a great weapon to be found in Chapter 2. He has other lootables, such as the bloodstained letter from Luvarden. Feel free to loot the wyverns for their stakes, useful in the next chapter. Go to the Brickmaker's village and talk with Vaska about some info about the lost boy.
The druids didn't take your boy. If I find him, I'll see to his safe return.
The boy is gone. A warning to all. We must prepare.
Prepare for what?
The Water Lords and I.
Don't worry about this quest because this will only advance in the next chapter. You can also chat with her about Yaren Bolt's problem, trying to get the peaceful solution for this problem. She requests Yaren's weapon as a peace offering to the Water Lords, and we need to do so. Make a beeline to Yaren's encampment and talk with him. He will get you the axe. Place the axe in the altar in the clay pits and wait until it's midnight. A Vodyanoi warrior will appear taking the axe and placing a Vodyanoi amulet, a symbol of peace. You also need to fight a group of Drowners, Bloodswiggers, and Echinops to advance the quest. Before doing anything else, go to the cave between the clay pits and the Lumberjack's Glade. Here you will encounter copious amounts of wolves, so you can get your wolf pelts, needing 10, as well as, in the main chamber, there's a sarcophagus being guarded by a wraith. Defeat all the enemies and loot the sarcophagus, getting the Wyazat Sephira, as well as the Dog Talu, needed for another quest. In this chamber, finally we can encounter another circle of elements. Interacting with it will grant you Quen, a shield-like sign that can be useful. Without much to do, of course, if you got your desired wolf pelts, we could exit the cave. Go to the glade one final time and talk with Yarenbolt. Give him the Voynod amulet and he will be thankful, finishing the quest. Go to the ferry landing and talk with Jean-Pierre. He was the one who did put the notice for the wolf contract. He will thank you, finishing the quest. Now go back to the docks and talk with Luvarden. With the knowledge of the Sephiroth, you can ask about the topic and we will have one. Buy it from him for 500 Dorans and he will give you the Tipirat. We only need 2 more to open the tower. Almost there. Before talking with Luvarden again, talk with the guards near the ramp, and they will say that Luvarden has been bribing them.
Should have been listed in the guards. We'd make twice the coin in bribes from Luvarden.
With this, we now have all the clues to deem its innocence. There are 4 clues that you need to get. The first one is when you talk with Jeffro about the professor. The second one is when you read the list of suspects that was handed over from Raymond. The third one is when you read the bloodstained letter from the messenger's corpse on the Wyvern Island. And the last one was from the guards.
If you don't work with Salamandra, who are you?
A modest merchant. Allow me to show gratitude with a gift.
Quit bluffing, Declan.
This symbol signifies my secret society. We seek to destroy Salamandra.
Learn anything useful?
The Salamanders have risked much. This is a political matter, let me tell you. Some larger schemes at play in Redania. Few people know this secret. King Foltest, the Lodge of Sorceresses, and I watch the northern border.
How does this relate to Salamandra?
Azar Javed has sent a special force north. My men saw them. He too knows something's brewing and is making preparations.
With this, we clear Luvarden about the suspicions and finish Suspect Luvarden. With nothing else to do in the swamp for the time being, we can now complete what is left in the Temple District. Thank you so much for watching this video. This video is later than I initially thought, but life got ahead of me. In the next episode, we will do everything that is left in Chapter 2. My name is Wedoo. This is everything you can do in The Witcher 1, and see you guys next time. Bye bye!